fuck around with that. You may even be able to do new codecs now. And I think we should have a lot less frames dropped. I spent the entire morning working on our OBS settings. So, here's hoping. So I heard in Nerf Lands 3 they went ahead and nerfed the Hellwalker shotgun because, you know, fuck Zane even more, I guess.
Ooh.
Entertainment. That's a fun typo. Thanks for being here, something. I wanted old school 8mm field of the cam, make it happen. I think we can do that in a filter, because, you know, there's always some 8th grader who's like, yo, I know what will really change the game on streaming. If I look like I come from 1965. Or maybe I can't do it, like, immediately. Oh, maybe so. There. Okay, we can look like we're in 1970s techno cam, apparently. Dude, that was the creepiest right here. This is filter right here. Jesus. That is terrifying. Oh my god. I don't know what there's like the 1970s look. It's your fucking Instagram duck face girl. This is 6th grade artist, and this is deep. And this one just nothing. I don't know what's going on with that. Image mask blend. Let's do red isolated again. Oh yeah, this is 5th grade. This is high school. This is high school and this is deep. This is the artist. I'm digitized. Let's do the creepy one in this one. Oh, it just makes us like lattice work.
Tick-tock, death clock.
You see what you've done something already? No Borderlands today. We're just gonna worry about doing this shit. Alright. I don't know why color correction is just a mess now. I need to get my fake digital tan on. See, it just like covers everything now. I don't understand. It used to just like change your face. Anyway. I don't even remember how to play this damn game. I lost the war. And I got over it. It just runs like dog shit, man. It does. It's supposed to be like Xbox One X enhanced and run at 60 FPS, and it's just always like, stuttering. I mean, it might be that Zane's running 1.5 million miles per hour. That probably doesn't help things, but here we are, not even an hour in, and I'm bitching. It'll get better. I don't even need to kill these guys. Not yet. Not yet. Where are we going? Necro de Feo. And break. Hashtag deep. Fucking with cams 101. We almost had that 8mm thing. I know on your thing you've got the, what, you're like a red-tailed fox? Something like that? Yeah, red panda, yeah. It's pretty funny. Oh, a cloud went in front of the sun and all of our hard work just disappeared. You see what we have to do to try to get some fresh air and some outside sun in here just so we can feel like we're alive? See the shit we gotta deal with? It's a hard life. There's guys right now busting their ass in Iraq or something. There's some fucking guy who's been over with a pickaxe in the California sun trying to get a sewage line in, and we're bitching. Borderlands isn't running well. Sun's in front of the. There's a cloud in front of the sun.
Guardians, let's take them out together.
Let's do it. Pickaxe like in Minecraft. With what? Oh yeah, Guardians. I'd say, hey, let's go see what weapons we have. But I'm always remembering that we had a very nice collection of weapons that all got taken away. Thanks, Gearbox. Appreciate you. It's my pistol gun. I used to have a pistol that I loved. It was electricity, and none of these are it. And it was anointed. Aren't anointed drops supposed to be like the special thing right now? I'll see we're blue again. It just takes a cloud.
Still got it.
At least it's better than last night where we could not maintain 30 FPS the whole stream. That's good for views. That's good for the business. Every time we'd get in a fucking fight, the game would turn into complete trash. But I think I'm really trying to like use the GTX now, so it should be better. It's not even a reason to fucking switch. I know his clone got buffed. Yo, young son! What up, Adam? Stuck the guy who's bouncing Borderlands. She's the same guy who bounced Borderlands Battleborn. That's interesting. I see that Killer 6, there's like a civil war already brewing. There's like, it's a four-way civil war. There's those that care about the balance and those that don't. Killer 6 is on the side of those that he thinks everyone's bitching, who yells about balance fixes. Yo, young son, you got a weird intro. I'm a good guy. He's a friend of mine. He's out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's probably not too happy the Browns are sucking ass, so he's reverted to cheering for Ohio State. He's finally come home. It should be in here, Adam. So, and then there's other people who feel like, you know, quit nerfing. Killer's like, oh, it's fine, they need nerfed. Other people are like, oh, these nerfs are ruining the game. Then there's the people that I would find myself on the side of that feel like Borderlands didn't move the formula forward enough. And therefore, I'm more excited about the future than I am the current game. But I think they've got to look more into some of the systems Destiny implemented to keep it interesting and make us want to play. It's the whole thing we talked about. We've got the 3 things written down about it. Then there's the other side of it, which says that this is Borderlands. Borderlands 3 should play exactly like Borderlands 1 and 2. The formula shouldn't be changed at all. And I don't say change the formula, but you got to evolve it to deal with the changing times. Destiny's sitting at 20,000 viewers right now, and Borderlands 3 is sitting at 2,000 viewers on Twitch. And this game's only been out a month, and this is the big AAA release, and Destiny was just an expansion. So, my opinion can be backed up with some pretty hard numbers, man. People are playing Shadowkeep and they're playing the shit out of Destiny, and they're either done with this and they fucking maxed it out, or they're bored of it. Him and Baru went at it, really? Yeah, Baru can kind of get a real attitude, man. I mean, the guy's still a dev, and you're still a streamer. And the guy has a lot of experience. Let him do his thing. I don't like the nerfs, but at the same time, the Lyuda nerf that everyone was bitching about, that was dumb. Because it didn't even actually nerf it. It's still just as fucking strong. It had a bug in it that they had to get rid of, but it is still hella strong. They're gonna, you know, they're probably gonna do some new skill trees in the future someday. And that's how they'll, instead of, you know, they'll do a level cap and they'll do new skill trees and you won't get any new Vault Hunters. That's probably what's gonna happen. So they've gotta be working on the balance in order to make that work. But of course, the side of the nerfs that I see that I don't agree with is where they make the argument like we want every legendary to be, you know, worth it, to be worth using. And there is a such thing as power creep, but you're reverting to the thing that people hate the most, which is like the Bungie nerf. Oh, there's a gun that everybody uses. Alright, nerf it into the ground so that it's just as shit as everything else is. Instead of buffing everything else so that you might want to use it.
Trigger fingers.
But I mean, you look at this,
getting
we're on a
tired over
mayhem mode. This game's just a fucking cakewalk at this point. Hopefully they address this bug. Console's getting left behind. Game is not optimized well. It started we were the best. Then they did like 3 or 4 patches. And now this game runs at a steady 20 FPS. We don't have any of the Twitch extension stuff. Our game is mostly, you know, bugged compared to the PC. Like, we don't have mayhem mode right when we start the new playthrough, and I'm just gonna admit, I'm gonna be totally honest. My want to play this game has been very low. There's nothing driving me. And it sucks, because it's like we talked about, Adam. We fucking lived for Borderlands 2 when it came out. For 2 years. I could still play those guys. I could still definitely play Borderlands 1. I don't get it. It's frustrating. Technically, you have every gun in the boss, just has to drop it. 5D chess. If you're lucky enough that it's attached to a boss, which is another thing they said they're going to change going forward. They are going to get everything, pretty much everything into like a specific boss, which is good. That'll be a really nice change. It's a good idea. It's something that ultimately Battleborn never did. It's weird they got the same guy. I'm gonna have to turn the music off altogether. Because they're not running well together, are they? It's too bad. They did a really good job with the music in this game, actually. Okay, Yen Him Baru and Anna. Oh, the big hyped Halloween event is just a reskin of Try, in my opinion. We'll see. I mean, it's not out yet. I don't think it's going to be near as big as what people think. They're giving us a month and a half to do it, but I just think it's going to be like 3 quests and a gun skin. Which is fine. I mean, an event's cool, but to be honest, I've seen Roblox games do events that are that big. It could be bigger, though, so I'm not going to judge anything till it's actually out. I still really like this game. I just want to play it more. And I think that the way that the end game works and some of the bugs... I think the main story's too damn long, too. It's not as good. It's just not as good. It's repetitive. That's something that didn't age well, actually. Is like, we're so used to Division and Anthem and Destiny now where you don't do New Game Plus. I think that New Game Plus is getting old. I don't think it works as well as it used to 10 years ago. I get, you know, if it radically changes the game up, yeah, New Game Plus is a good idea. But because Borderlands is still doing it like exactly the way they always did it, which is that this just does not feel different in New Game Plus. Borderlands 1 and 2 actually felt more different and more difficult in New Game Plus than Borderlands 3. It's just in a weird place. I guess it's because of the level cap. The fact that you hit the level cap in playthrough 1 now, instead of having to go through playthrough 2, you don't feel like you're going for anything. You're just doing the quests to unlock areas. Whereas we're used to Destiny, Division, Anthem, any of these new looter shooters, where once you've done the main story, it's done. Now, granted, some of those games are so shitty that they won't even let you go back and play the missions. Like Destiny, you pay the whole, you pay $60, but then once you beat the story missions, they don't let them replay them. That's why they still lose out in my book. But I also like that sense of once you're done, you're done. And you're onto a new segment of activities rather than replaying the same activities. Especially for limited gains. Very limited gains in Borderlands 3 to do New Game Plus. You're already at the level cap. You don't have that much of an increased chance at dropping loot, but it doesn't matter because you can just turn the game offline and farm the loot tank and shoot a barrel to have unlimited money. You can even now freeze the loot tank. Hey, speaking of loot tank, there's one I didn't even notice. You can now freeze the damn loot tank and just sit there and shoot him with an infinity, and he continually drops legendaries. Just set it to offline. So why? Why would you turn it? Okay, he didn't drop his backpack. Perfect. Online. Not only that, the game runs worse. You turn this game offline, it runs 10 times better. And it's really strange, because this is a game you can play offline, and it's not supposed to have a lot of DRM or any. But apparently there's some kind of digital rights management, some of the live service, whatever, social features running in the background that, dude, take a toll on this game. Apparently it's 10 times worse on PC, and in split screen it's just unplayable. And they don't seem to be prioritizing the fact that split screen is broke. Graviton Lance was two-shotting people. Let's nerf the fuck out of it everywhere. Yeah, classic Bungie, but that's where, sadly, it's like, feels like this is where they're getting their playbook from right now. They're not all the time, I mean, like the Lyuda nerf. They changed some stuff so that it functioned the way that they meant for it to function, but it was still just as strong. Sniper still had a buff, and its base damage, I think, went up some. But like the Hellwalker shotgun. I'm not in Mayhem mode, so it's not going to necessarily hit really hard, right? I mean, it doesn't matter how hard it hits, I'm just going to kill shit. But I can already tell, because I can't one-hit that guy, for instance, that in Mayhem mode, this thing is no longer going to be the centerpiece of my build. Now, why? Why? This is the classic Gearbox thing that pisses me off. It's like nerfing kunai. Of all the guns that show up in the meta, the Hellwalker shotgun is not one of those guns. It's the Lyuda, and it's the Hex, and it's all that shit. But never has the Hellwalker shotgun been the shotgun that people are one-shotting bosses with. And yet that fucking gun got a 0.25% nerf, and it's another classic Gearbox thing. Instead of really thinking about it and doing some mechanical switch or implementing like an elegant fix, it's classic game dev stuff, to be fair, but they're AAA and this is a 10-year-old franchise. Just put a number, just fucking throw a number on it. 0.25% reduction in damage. Yeah, see how it works. We'll see how that works out. Alright, well, my Zane, who we all know is the least tiered of all the characters, that shotgun was the centerpiece of my build. So I can see why Baru gets pissed, because it is arbitrary. You make a build, you create a character, and then all it takes is somebody saying, hey, I don't think I like how that's functioning. And your whole build goes out the window. They need to show us more of the data that's driving their decisions, and less like it's you know, working as intended or not functioning how we thought it would. To be honest, the story seems half-baked. Like, they didn't earn the plot twist deaths, they just happen and it's off to the next Gungeon. The best Bungie nerf is, oh, everyone uses pulse rifle in PvP. Let's nerf it so it affects PvP as well. That's true. That was such a struggle for both Destiny and Battleborn, will so. Yeah, the story isn't as good. It's not as good as 2. It's better than 1, but 1 had a, you know, really bad story, and it was mostly told by text and stuff. I love how Anointed are still just stupid strong because of all the damage debuffs they have. That's not being addressed. There's still so many just common bugs too. Like at one point in the storyline, all the missions down level by like 2 or 3, and you don't earn any XP during that section. I think they fixed the banks, maybe. I still got hit by it, and that still really pissed me off. They had 7 years, and they went gold in August. How? They had 2 extra months. Why would they not still be fixing bugs if big bugs like that were around? And there's been so many exploits. So many exploits. It's just weird. They said they took an extra year to polish it, to really polish it. And yet it came out, and it really wasn't all that polished. It's weird that it on like high-end PCs it runs like shit, but on like mid-range systems it runs good. It's sad that they advertise split screen, but the split screen doesn't actually work. There's reasons to be pissed at this game, not rage like, you know, Destiny 2 and rage, but the honeymoon phase is over. And it was over for some quicker than others, and I'm one of those that it was quick. I love the gunplay. I love the graphics. I like the new Vol Hunters. This is just like this shit. I love that it's not Activision Blizzard and doesn't have fucking toxic business ethics. I think all the new gun models are really sweet. I love the customization options. I love that it's more Borderlands. But it just is not a game changer. This is bugged. Like Borderlands 2 was. Borderlands 2 was a game changer. Borderlands 3 is not. Destiny was a game changer for all its shittiness. Late stage Destiny 2 is a game changer because it finally is starting to meet that potential, apparently. You gotta stand on it and jump? Weird. I've always just like ran through it. I just want to enjoy playing it. That's all I ask for. Yeah, that's all you. That's not at all an unreasonable demand. That's the bare minimum. Man, I've been see there. I didn't jump on it. I just ran right through it. So it's always worked for me. Is that just when it's bugged? You got to stand and jump on it. I always had to jump. Weird. I've always just walked straight ahead like it was a Halo jump. That's another thing. They're still using shit that they got from Halo 1. They did the damn port. It's like they're still running on that in many ways. Like that fucking jump pad is Halo. Necrodeferio is great though. I love the new areas for the most part. Though compared to like Mass Effect, new planets, these are not. Necrodeferio is probably the coolest environment they ever did. And it does have a ton of good quality of life stuff, like being able to fast travel from anywhere. I love all the streamlined stuff. That does set it apart. You know, major kudos for all that. That's probably the most revolutionary thing they did, is looking at every system that they had done over the last 10 years in Borderlands games and trying to make all of those accessible, as easy to do, just like automatically, just very, very streamlined. And they're still looking at stuff like that. Like now you can auto pick up boosters. That's perfect. That's a really nice change. And that's something that's like, okay, this game's gonna be really good in a year. You know, in a year, it's already good. It's that's my fault. There's nothing. This is the furthest thing from a trash game, but I want good changes, not shitty changes. The current state of Borderlands 3. Be right back. That's classic Adam. Adam asked me a question that would take like a pretty long answer. Alright, see, I just ran right through it. What do you think of that article? He's wrote like 15 of them. Every day he's got to look at Reddit, toss something new on there. Anointed ain't dropped shit. Are they supposed to be? Is this another event that's bugged? I thought we were still on the Iridium event. Where are we at now? Are we on the... If we're on the Anointed Loot event, damn, I chose the right week to come back and play. TVHM had I bother, but with it, I don't know what the point is where I can get massive loot on normal. Right. No, you're absolutely right. And on PC, you can. I'm going to do it for the sake of completionist, and I still want to dedicate a ton of time to this game. This is still, like, supposed to be the primary stream game. But my feelings on it have been until it's in a state where it's at a really where I feel like this game has the base to be at. Because the fundamentals are all great. The fundamentals are all sound. But until I start seeing more stuff to farm for, more of a reason to farm, a harder end game, a deeper end game, reasons to do anything, I don't want to be completely fucking over it when that time comes. I want to be still pretty damn fresh with the game and ready to rock and roll, because I know it's going to come. I still believe in Gearbox. I still love Borderlands. This isn't like my fucking protest flame war of the year. I still love the game. But I don't think it's where it can or should be yet. And I'm not going to burn myself out. Wait for that. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to play Outer Worlds Friday. Definitely play Outer Worlds Friday, and I hope it's fucking great, because I'm pretty excited. I know Wilson's excited. I'm guessing you're going to play it as well, something? I had to get my Uber order. I'm here. Uber drives you your food? I thought that was like Grubhub. God damn, Cleveland's ahead, man. Cleveland's ahead. Well, which article? He's written like 15 of them, Adam. I suppose I did read the one this morning where he's talking about the 2 different groups, but I would break that into 4 groups. The Destiny people and the Borderlands people, that's fine. And I would also put it into the people who want nerfs and the people who don't want nerfs. Like, Killer 6 has formed his own faction. He's very vocal. He's formed an enemy. It's getting him a gathering, and his whole thing is that anytime that Borderlands nerfs... See, I think he's fine to argue in favor of nerfs are fine, but he's doing the thing where he gives a blanket response. If they nerf it, it's perfect. There's no nerfs you should ever question. And then you go to Baru's camp, which is no nerf. Any nerf is a bad nerf. This is another thing where why can't we have a moderate view on this shit? Some nerfs are gonna have to happen. Flak should not have been able to show up with the Lyuda and fucking one-hit anything without even blinking his eyes. That was stupid. And it made every other character look redundant and useless. He didn't even stand apart. He just does massive damage in no time. But should sticky bombs on Torgue shotguns have been nerfed? I would say no. You know, it was one of the few guns where it's like, oh, I'm going to use a Torgue shotgun even though it's a purple. It was the Borderlands 1 masher was the Torgue shotgun with sticky bombs. They got rid of it. Should they nerf the Hellwalker? Was it one-hitting every boss in the game? No, not even fucking close. So, no. Especially because it's meant to be the damn Doomslayer shotgun. How do you nerf that? Should they nerf other skills and buff other skills to try to put players into different skill trees? I think they should just buff other skill trees. Because that's the whole kunai nerf again that was infamous. Like, where they literally said it wasn't working as intended. They didn't think that players were supposed to use Zero in the way that they were using Zero, so they just got rid of it, which is the biggest bullshit I've ever seen as a reason to nerf something. Once it gets into the players' hands, it's the players. And you can give Destiny credit there because when people figured out how to beat Crota, they were like, kudos, good job. You guys did it. You guys are impressive. That was the perfect answer to that situation. What Gearbox does is, no, I had this vision in my head for exactly how Zane was supposed to play, or exactly how Flak was supposed to play. And because players are not following the exact vision or recipe we had in our heads, fucking get rid of it. And that's bullshit. Once it's in the players' hands, which Gearbox used to be pretty good about, especially Borderlands 1, they were great about that. Like, adding features into the game that went into players' strengths. Like, adding the Ashen Shield in Borderlands 1 from Crowar so that Brick could become a tank. Adding the Iridian Warrior mod for Lilith so that Iridian weapons became useful instead of just trash. I love the changes in that game. Because they went into the meta instead of against the meta. They didn't try to rewrite the meta every week. It's almost impossible to do that. And then you start looking at like a Fortnite type situation where, like, save the world. You keep trying to save the world. You keep trying to save the world of save the world. And the more you fuck with it, the more it seems to be breaking, and you end up with like 25 different hybrid versions of the game with no real concrete plan moving forward. Or you lose sight of the goal. You forget where the goalposts even are. I think that happens in a lot of games where you nerf something and you nerf it too far, then you buff other things to try to match it, and before it's all over with, you end up with a situation where no gun is in good shape. I think Apex has done a good job with balance. They've been very slow to the punch. Changes have been very small and minute, and only a little bit at a time. They don't like change like what Gearbox is doing right now, which is change like 15 things in a row. Change like 15 things in a row, and then when other stuff starts to break around it, with Apex and Respawn, it was always like, we're gonna change the Peacekeeper, and that's it this week. And then next week we'll look into changing Caustic, if that's okay. Is it slower? Oh yeah, of course it's slower, and that pisses people off. But it's a lot safer. You know, now they've done so many different weapon changes within the last 3 weeks that it's hard to even keep track of where we were. I'm here. In my it feels like the game has had 7 years of work or whatever. In my opinion, it doesn't feel like this game had 7 years of work or whatever. It feels like 5 times as much put in State of Decay 2 than Borderlands 3. And look how buggy grindy that game was. Yeah. Well, there needs to be a reason to play. And Borderlands 3, sadly, because of... its biggest rework was how it did New Game Plus. And I don't like it. It might be good for the future, though, because they don't have to do UVHM now. They can just do TVHM. That's good. That's a nice change. But because you hit the level cap in normal mode and you can just farm your ass off in normal mode, TVHM lost all meaning. And it used to be a big deal to hit TVHM because that's how you hit the cap. You were gonna get to like level 30, 35 in both Borderlands 1 and 2. And then you were going to be able to hit 50 by going into TVHM, and that's why people did it. That's what it made it worth, and then of course you would go ahead and clean it up because you'd want those side quests. It just used to be a lot harder to hit the level cap. And so they did like the modern shooter thing where it's really easy to cap out. You can cap out in like 20 hours or less. Which is fine, because what a modern shooter does, like Guild Wars, it's how Guild Wars did it. Well, once you're at the cap, it's just all about all these different activities that offer progress, both horizontal and vertical. And once you've done a story mission, that's it. You know, you don't go back and replay the story. You've already hit the cap. So like Anthem, once you beat the story, you're done with the story. Destiny, once you beat the story, you're done with the story. And now you just move on to different tiers of activities. So they kind of did a Frankenstein decision where they put in this more modern level cap system where you can hit it pretty fast, and then it's all about the end game. But they still did their end game grind identical to the past games. It's about killing bosses over and over again, which is fine. Don't change that. That's not Borderlands if you change that. But you've got to run through the campaign again, which many people don't find near as good or as exciting or as entertaining story-wise as 2, sadly. And it's long, man. It's long. I don't like that question anymore. Like, how long is, you know, this gonna like last this? Dude, it's okay to have a shorter campaign if it tells a better story. I feel like there's so many parts of this main storyline that just feel like filler. You're on Jacob's Eden 6 for way too fucking long. That's what I was waiting for too, Stuck. Once I get a few quality of life changes and nerfs aren't constant, and I can actually play and not be bored and bitching the whole time. Yeah, I'm with you, something. I'm with you. It hurts, right? Kind of hurts, like, in the heart, right? Because we love this game. You were at the fucking premiere event. Clearly you love Gearbox. Clearly you love Borderlands, and we were all Battleborn fans that played the hell out of that game. Like, we're loyalists. So it's not like it feels good to be bored and bitch the whole time. It's the last thing I imagine. I know I want. I imagine we want. But I still can't give myself, Adam, I think we've talked about this a bunch, like a straight, clear answer on what was the magic that was in Borderlands 1 and 2, and especially 2 at launch. You know, that was a phenomenon. It was Destiny. It was the king. Granted, it was alone, but it felt so groundbreaking, and it was so exciting, and just what we lived on. And why was 3 not that way? Especially after all the wait. Still a good game. This is not like a situation where the game launch is fucking a joke. Not at all. I just don't think it's met what you imagine. Even lowering expectations. It just feels like some small things need to be done. Oh, come on now. I did so much. I did so much work in OBS. It pisses me off they nerfed this shotgun. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not, again, one of these Call of Duty people who are like, well, death threats. It fucking is what it is. But, jeez, I lose my bank and then you nerf the Hellwalker shotgun? Are you trying to give me a reason not to play? Hopefully when the Anthem comes out, the other looter shooters will step up their game. Hopefully when Anthem gets good. I mean, I'm gonna go back, dude. I had fun playing the Anthem Cataclysm. I had more fun in the Anthem Cataclysm than I've had doing TVHM on Zane. First playthrough was really fun. I had a, it was wicked. The first time I hit the level cap and got to jump into the end game, I had a ton of fun. With this game, I was actually putting in 10, 12 hours. Like late at night, I was making YouTube videos when I was dealing with the basement shit. I was putting on actually a ton of hours. I should have just streamed. I was loving it. Then I got to TVHM, and the thrill has largely been gone. I've been going through the motions. I mean, how could I not just go through the motions? I'm just one-shotting everything. And even if I wasn't, then all I would think is this really worth the challenge? Busy work in games is not good, because you do this to get away from that stuff. You come here to be like entertained and be excited and be engaged and want to do something. I never think that it's a good idea to make players go through footwork.
This is it. You know what to do, Killer.
And purples are fucking useless already, and not looking at blues or greens. The only way we're gonna do that is to do the next playthrough, which I'm gonna do, which is I'll only use up to blue weapons. I'm gonna play whatever character we want, probably Moe's.
Starlight, don't do
Just to keep it interesting, just to make it fresh.
Went to Pandora to become vault hunters ourselves. We'd open the vault of vaults and become the biggest.
What's as sensible as licking windows? And a 1/4% reduction too.
Listen to me.
They didn't play around with it. Just nerf it by a 1/4 and see what happens. Because you know that one shotgun that nobody puts in build videos?
Now I'm gonna devour every last
Except us, and that video got what, maybe 1,000 hits?
until nothing shines.
Sure, like give you a reason to do something other than farm one boss in Borderlands or Anthem, because the case is sadly true for both of them. But in the case of the Cataclysm, that's why it changed it up. It gave you a leaderboard, it gave you multiple activities, it gave you a higher tier of loot. So it goes back to the things we talked about with Borderlands, like what they could change right now. If you added Proving Ground specific loot, you know, even just one item per person, one mod, one artifact per Vault Hunter, and one, say, weapon, one shield, I don't know, something like that. Even just one shield, not even class specific, right? Just a Proving Ground specific shield. Even better if it's per planet. Give you a reason to do that shit. Add a raid boss. Why is there still not a raid boss? This is Borderlands. Borderlands 2 launched with Terra Morpheus. And holy shit. Also Verminivorous. And what was the other one you could make? There was one more. Goliath, I suppose, doesn't count, but there was one more you could build. You know, a raid boss with effervescence and pearls. Give people a reason to play at. Make people want to drive forward. Just like Destiny did. And Destiny, what's sad is they learned it from Borderlands. And then, you know, the situation is strange, and I don't know what the future looks like. The Borderlands stream team talked about how they, you know, were playing on these early events, they did all that press before this game came out, and they were like, hey, this is broken, hey, this doesn't work. And they're like, yeah, we hear you, and they did nothing about it. It just feels like where they were at the peak of Borderlands 2, which is they started getting a little haughty, a little above the players. They came back, and I don't think they're there yet. I think it's Randy. I think Destiny pisses Randy Pitchford the fuck off. And I think he wants to do everything in his power to be the anti-Destiny, which is fine. But there's also really good parts of Destiny that we can all learn from. And you have to take that shit in mind. And there's really good parts of the Division, and you've got to take that in mind. And I feel like they're, just to not be Destiny, to show that they're the polar opposite of that game, they're refusing to implement some features like strike-specific loot and raids that set that game apart and make people want to play it, drive people forward, give them a deep want and craving to play the game and put their time into it. I'm not a Destiny fan, but if I'm a game designer, the facts don't lie. That more people are playing it. Clearly, like, just watch Battalion and Broman. They looked really fucking happy when they got to go back over to Destiny. And they were satisfied. And you could tell, like he said, it felt good to be home, right? If I'm the game competing against it, that's what I want people to say about my game. And I would watch Broman and Goth play this game, and they just... I mean, Goth more than Broman, especially Broman, just looked bored. He looked like he was going through the motions. Gotta make it so that that's not the case. Like, people are just playing it out of a feeling of loyalty, a feeling of nostalgia. they're fans and they love the game, and they know even if it's bad, they'll still do it. Make them genuinely love the game on its own merits. And it has its own merits. At least one thing is true, as of right now, it's stronger than Division 2. At least we got that going for us. But it looks like, if you had to take a real look at it, Destiny is winning. A Walker nerf made no sense. No, it didn't. Here's my idea. Finish normal mode. When you enter TVHM, you're already on Sanctuary ship. You can pick any mission to do. You unlock gun customizations for each mission. I like that. I like that. Add that and add other ideas too. Make it so that you don't unlock the raid boss until TVHM. Make it so you don't unlock the Proving Ground specific loot until you're in TVHM. Or have a lower pool. You have like Battleborn, how Battleborn had some loot on normal mode and then it had even more loot on Legendary or whatever it was.
Reminder. Stream it for
you know, unlike if you did the missions on hard in Battleborn, you had more loot. And then if you did hardcore, you had a higher drop chance. Do that, alright? So you're on normal. So you have a much smaller pool. You only get the full loot pool in TVHM. They figured that out in Battleborn. Why can't they figure it out here? And then, talking about quality of life and streamlining, then you go with Wilson's idea. You make it so you start on Sanctuary. Now, the only difficulty of starting on Sanctuary is that Pandora's about 3 hours and, like, 4 story missions. So if you start on Sanctuary, Pandora basically loses its meaning until the very end of the game. But I still like the idea. In general, I like the idea. Doesn't happen until the TVHM would make a lot more sense. I agree with you something. You have to have a reason to do TVHM. They gave away too much in normal mode. I guess it was to keep the game easier, but the game's already easy. It's already easy. Believe me, it hurts me that I generally get bored when I play Borderlands. I don't feel good about that. I want to love this game. You go back to Borderlands 1 when we were streaming it so much, I could still spend the entire day farming Crawlamax with all that bullshit. Because there was a reason to do it. There were items that were going to make me more powerful, and it's just that damn simple. It's classic game design. It's the meat and potatoes of the whole fucking thing. I play Roblox games just for that sense of satisfaction that some of those games provide, which is, oh, now I have 2 extra strength. I wonder what happens when I get 5 extra strength. Oh, that'll be neat. I'm gonna push to that point. I want to see if I can break this. As a game designer, you're working against the player because the player's job is to break the game. There's none of that. Even Guardian rank, you would think that would drive you to break the game. You can't because it's... Holy shit, it's soft capped. And what are we, ranked like 374? Yeah, 374. Alright, well, it takes every bit of 300,000 experience now to get up a level. And I had to get to rank 374 to take luck to 15%. Because once you get to 13%, you start getting 0.01%. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And they're like, oh yeah, it's an unlimited progression system after you hit the level cap that, you know, you'll be working on for years to come. No, you won't. Because you just fucking it ends, basically. Realistically, to any mere mortal, not an AI that's like farming XP 24/7, any human person who at all wants to maintain a normal life is not going to see too much out of that damn system. Whereas with Bar, even when we did our, like, you know, 8th playthrough all those years later, we still ended up with like 150 tokens. I had like almost 200,000 Bar. I like the system better, Guardian rank, as far as, you know, it's an XP driven system and it has a tree. You guys can come get me up, it's okay. Keep forgetting they're completely immune to ice. How did that will so? I did Proving Grounds thing once and never plan to go back. There's no point. Right, there's no plan. There's no point. It's like how golden key chests become with Borderlands. In all of them. They're good for leveling. But once you've reached endgame, you just don't give a shit. And especially in this one. And they had it so hyped, like there was gonna be legendaries and shit attached to it, and that's another one, like Battleborn. Put its own legendaries in that chest. Make it like there's 3 different legendaries, 1 artifact, 1 shield, and 1 shotgun that only comes out of the golden key chest. Might be able to do it, I don't know.
I am real. Now I'm coming for you, Jeremy.
Who's Jeremy? Also, know what's bullshit? The fact that anointing gear is still garbage for at least modes. I never use Iron Bear unless I'm using it for frames. Outside of that, it's trash. Yeah. And yet, they're just nerfing stuff. They're not buffing Iron Bear and making it so that you would want to use Iron Bear. They're just nerfing stuff so that the other builds that you do use don't really matter very much. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's been like, I don't want to ignore this stuff. At this point, in both Borderlands 1 and 2, I would still say, hey, I'm going to look at this stuff. I might not use it, but I could use it. And I mean, I could use this too, but there still just isn't a point. It's a looter game where 20 hours in, you quit caring about loot, basically.
Almost done. She's here.
This top tier loot that's supposed to make you want to keep farming more powerful stuff is just useless to me. And that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem. There is not a good reason to play the game. Even a Roblox game will have,
Oh, this for me?
like, I want to drive forward, I want to drive forward, I want to drive forward. I wish there was that craving, man. I think that it ties into making it. They need a meatier endgame, and you want to get there. You want to get a TVHM because there's proving grounds. There's a raid boss. Here's all these streamlined features. Here's all this stuff you've unlocked. Here's the horizontal progress you've unlocked.
I'm over it.
And then making those activities something you do want to do over and over again. It's 10 times more efficient to go offline and farm a loot tank. It's 10 times more efficient to just kill Grave Ward over and over again than it is to do a proving ground. But it really should be the opposite. Or at least proving ground should have really... You should still be able to farm those things. But a proving ground needs an activity that gives you a unique reward. Not just, here's some generic purples, which you've quit using, sadly, because they did an amazing job on the gun system. But here's the proving ground relic for Zane. Here's the proving ground relic for Mose. Here's the proving ground class mod just for Beastmaster. Brownie points, since it's a AAA game you took 7 years on, if you do it per proving ground, not just proving grounds in general. See, just looks like a pain in the ass compared with normal Mayhem 3. There's a cap on the unlimited progression system. Yeah, there's definitely a virtual cap. By the time you get to rank 500 plus, the time sink gets... What ESO's done with raids is you get normal version of loot in normal raids, and you get perfected versions for doing the harder veteran raid there. Perfect, see? Again, the Battleborn system as well, right? That should have happened in TVHM. Like, normal anointed should have been something that you see that's like really special. Holy shit, there's an anointed. You almost never see them. But by the time you get to TVHM and late game TVHM, you should be seeing a lot of anointed. I'm saying this, and I don't agree with the drops being nerfed, because 90% of the legendaries you got were still trash, and that generally is still the problem. Is it's not the amount of legendaries, it's the legendaries that are actually worth a damn and worth getting, and the places and activities to get those. Having Grave Ward drop 3 legendaries that you're just gonna pass by doesn't mean, oh, we should nerf legendaries because there's more trash on the ground. It means that you probably need to come up with new activities for players to do besides farming Grave Ward over and over for 3 trash legendaries. Keep the drop rate where it's at, but diversify that loot pool and make them behind harder activities. Slaughterdome. Slaughterdome needs a fucking set. It needs a set like Effervescence in the last DLC. And, you know, that they did a Digistruct Peak set. And that made me think, like, oh yeah, that's gonna be perfect. That's gonna be so wicked cool to see in Borderlands 3. That system didn't cross over to this one. And yet it should have. There should be a set just for Slaughterdome. You get higher drops. You know, have a farming set. Have a really high shield set. Have a set that makes it like Destiny did. That was so good. Do a little more damage to this enemy. You get to survive a little better against that foe. You have a longer time to bleed out. I would love to know the player count for Borderlands 3 right now. It's probably still really high because the game's still really new. And what is it, a year? Is it a year or 6 months that Epic has exclusivity? When it goes on Steam, you're going to see another big peak. And by the time it gets to Steam, whether it be 6 months or a year, you're also going to see a much improved game, which ties back into what we've been talking about. It's not about fuck Borderlands 3. It's about let's not hate Borderlands 3 so that we still love the game when it starts to get where we figure it will go. Because all of them have ended amazing. Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 left that game in a great state. Even Battleborn had a shitty last patch, but you talk about Winter Update and just the overall series of changes that game went through. They left Battleborn in as good a state as they could have. They've never, Gearbox, to their credit, has never left the game in shit shape. Like some devs do, like EA. EA. I think the future's still really bright. And I'm really excited to dig in when that time comes. In the meantime, I really don't feel like making myself never want to play this game again. Because I continue to bang my head against a wall when I'm really frustrated by it. 6 months? Alright, you're gonna see another peak at 6 months. And a lot of people, you know, didn't even get it. Chose not to even get it.
We're counting on you, killer. The destroyer is ripping.
So 6 months from now, you're gonna have a lot of bug fixes. You're gonna have 2 DLCs. And we'll see what their future looks like. We're probably gonna have increased bank and vault space. I'm sure of that. Hopefully more quality of life fixes like being able to auto pick up boosters, which is great. I want shields to matter again. That's another thing we've talked about a lot. Just don't care about shields. Feels like Borderlands 1. Doesn't really matter what shield you got on. You got a shield on. Perfect. And whereas in Borderlands, I have not changed my... I guess I do have a build specific shield, and that's why I guess I don't think about mine as much. But once I had it, I didn't fucking care beyond that. And I've got this shield for my build that was around this shotgun they decided to nerf. Tactician Band of Siratok, who you get from a guy called like Dangerous Red. Shield gets busted. I get movement speed and weapon damage. Of course, when my shield busts, it busts automatically when I deploy my action skill, because the whole build's about speed. But other than that, it's like I'm not going for anything now. And that continues to be the problem. When I was going for the shield, I was farming the game a lot, playing the game a lot. Something to drive me forward, something to make me want to think, oh yeah, I could probably break this guy a little more. That's what in Borderlands is so important.
Finally.
And I could just tell I can't really break him anymore.
I'm not
And then
that
like
kind
Baru
of
feels, okay, you broke him some more, but they're just gonna nerf the shit out of him. I could play Outer Worlds PC without Epic Game Store. That's fucking based. You're pretty pumped about doing Outer Worlds for Game Pass. So, if you have Game Pass on Xbox, you also have it on PC. It's like I said, I got a GTX 1660 in my rig. My brother was updating his computer and had his sitting around, so he just like gave me it. And I've been talking about it, but you know, next year when everything's like together, I'm gonna be mostly trying to stream on the PC. Make that transition. If you have, then you have it on PC as well. Perfect. So I want to check out Gears of War on this 1660, the GTX 1660 Ti. I bet it looks really fucking good. I got Warframe. Been playing that with my brother on PC. It looks pretty damn good on a 1660, and I get to like put on all the high settings and shit.
Out and about.
My computer's starting to get a little old though. I don't even have DDR4 or RAM and stuff. My motherboard's not that great. I like this boss fight a lot. Whoever designed it did a good job. There's a couple in the game like this. I absolutely hate Troy. What's good about it is it's hard, but it's not frustrating. It has definite mechanics, and you know if you die, it was on you. They don't spam the mechanics. There's no bullshit. There's no Nova. It's probably one of the best bosses. It probably is the best boss I think they've done. It has clear mechanics to push you forward, and when you get knocked, enemies spawn. Troy, the enemies spawning at random. The mechanics are random. He's got Novas. He's got insta-gibs. He spams his attacks. You're not guaranteed at all a second wins. I hate that fight. It is like so much old school Gearbox, what we call in this stream the heliophage method. I don't know who did it, but it's like they had two teams do it. If they had a boss team, they were split into two groups. Because this fight, a few others are really well done and the best they've done. And then you go into a fight like Troy or Kilovolt, especially when he was bugged, they're just bad. They're super frustrating. And it's like you have to rely on the old school Gearbox Borderlands shit. You just spam a ton of damage and hope you... It's like Crawlmax, right? You just hope you kill Crawlmax before he can do anything. You cheese him, and you hope that you do enough damage that he dies within the first 30 seconds so you don't actually have to go into the mechanics because you know that the mechanics will get you killed.
Go on then.
I didn't know we were this close to the end. I totally should have just probably like finished it that night. Fortnite looks different. Yeah, it's a really big update. I think they're calling this like Chapter 3. Yo, Big Sick 666! Hey, thank you, Wilson, for doing that. Sig's really great. He's a manager at GameStop. Love his stuff. His community is ride or die. They would die for that man. They love him. He's always entertaining. Even when he's enraged, even when he's happy. He's got a great sense of humor. He's a really talented streamer. Figures much. What's good? Stuck? Well, I'm better than good. I'm better than most. We're bitching about Borderlands 3 while trying to also be passively aggressive fanboys. You know, oh, we hate it, but we love it. We hate it, but we love it. Overall, airing frustrations. All of the hardcore fans, we just want to be addicted, man. We just want this to be the game that we live, eat, breathe. And it isn't right now. For, you know, varying reasons. A reason to play is the biggest one. Because here's another thing. Here's another reason I'm not saying this game is trash, because it's not trash. It fucking plays great. The gameplay is the best they've done, ever. This game competes with Destiny, in my opinion, gunplay-wise now. It's that good. I said originally in my first impressions video that it's like, you know, it's like really good, like Halo 5 good. No, it's Titanfall good. It is extremely good. Seriously, you move smooth, you shoot where you look is where the bullets go. It's responsive, it's tight, it's fluid, it's fast, it works. It's the best they've done. And I'm really impressed because you go from Borderlands 2 and Battleborn to this, it's day and night. So that's the biggest thing they ever did. But as far as taking a whole year just to polish and be in gold in August and 7 years of development, there's a whole lot of other stuff in this game that does not show me that that's what they did. They probably spent a hell of a lot of time learning how to make a really, really good modern FPS. That they accomplished. But a really, really good modern RPG or like Borderlands 2, a looter shooter that defines what the genre is. Not like Doom 2016. Why is it a classic? It somehow manages to both reassert that it was the OG FPS game and become the new king, all in one masterstroke. That's what you want in Borderlands 3. You want it to reassert that a looter shooter, that's our thing. We're the ones who came up with that. We're the godfathers of it. You can thank us later. And also reassert like Doom did, and we're also still the fucking king, by the way. And it's not asserting that. Destiny's the king, and I hate that, but it is. You got reasons to play Destiny every day. You have tons of engagement with a giant community. You want to be as good with your buddies. You want to play with your buddies. You have so many activities to do. You have PvP to do. You have strikes to do. You got raids to do. You're going to build this. You can, you know, allot that. You can put a rune in this thing. You can build armor here. You can go do this activity to unlock this stupid weapon. And it's like, It's exactly what you have to look at now because they're the ones, regrettably, who set the standard. Oh yeah, I'll take this, sure. I've got no items in my bank. I got plenty of room. Alright, so the final episodes of Borderlands 3 are me bitching about Borderlands 3. It only took us about a month to fix it. That'll tell you everything. I didn't rush back here. Yeah, I was in a, shit place in my head because because of what I talked about in Discord, but even then I think I would have rushed back. I didn't. It's like reading a bad book. It takes you forever. Funny story. I was working last week when one of my regulars came to the store with Borderlands 3 and asked him if he was trading it, and he said, nah, I'm gonna let you have it. I beat it. I'll probably pick it up again later. I was confused but didn't complain. That's, oddly enough, that's basically the perfect answer, Sig. I still love this game. But that's where it's at, right? You beat it, now come back. That would be my advice to anybody who's a real fan of this game who's frustrated by it too. Know that they've never left a game in a bad place, that the future is still extremely bright for this game. It's a good start, but if you really want to love this game, don't bang your head against the wall, don't endlessly grind the content, because it's all going to change quickly, and you're going to come to a rapid, just a totally different game in a year. And it's my biggest hope, and I do think they'll accomplish it, is that it's going to be a game that will service you for years and years to come. That will be that game that you always feel like you got something to do, something you want to do, and a reason to do it. It's not that yet. Will be fixed. A lot of stuff will be fixed. The DLCs will really up the content. The events will continue to just be sprinkled in there. The future still looks bright, and it's still not a shit game. But I know my reviews, I do like a 3-point scale. I want so badly to give this game a 3 out of 3. I can't.
You did it! Tyrene's dead! For real this time. She's not gonna come back, is she?
Well, she died and turned to ash, so I'll give it a hard maybe.
Got her powers back. She is good, right?
What's wrong without them? I've gotten used to it.
Oh, I hate this ending too. Jesus, I hate this ending. I think this is the hokiest fucking thing. I know people cried. People bawled their eyes out at this shit. I guess I need some sensitivity training or something, but I know I sure as shit I'm not crying my eyes out. I'll pause it, just because it's worth just how hokey this is.
Entirely. Great Vault is still opening. Elpis is tearing Pandora apart.
How do we stop it?
Very simple. We can't
You just have thick skin.
you know a way to remove
Ava Borderlands 4 confirmed. You guys hate Ava. Especially you, Adam. You seem to really hate Ava. You and Gunner. Oh god, I hate this ending.
Towards the
I've seen people fucking cry.
Sanctuary's yours, Ava. Be ready.
Here's where I was at this point in the story. I'm over it. I saw this coming a mile away, and I'm over it. People cried for this ending. Yes, Methusa. There are many, many streamers. I would say 50% of streamers who cried, said this was perfect. Like, her arms aren't even animated. It's like a still image.
She knows.
My main died because of her. I was a lot more worked up about the Maya death.
She's the
And I thought they would do more with the Borderlands 2 people, but they didn't. And yeah, Lilith, I mean, this just didn't affect me. Maya's did, and they did Maya callous. They did Maya dirty. They did Maya, like scenes like that. That's how they did Maya. All right, Lilith just sacrificed herself for the universe, and so they show Vaughn's ass. It's like they didn't know when to insert the jokes. You just Maya dies, so they decide to insert that like really, really bad eulogy. Everybody fucking loves that scene. It's really brave. It was just annoying. She was forced into our face. She wasn't as loved as Tina.
She's
Sad about it, but come on. Adam had a change of heart. Did he? He loves Ava now.
She's lighting the way.
Went towards that Alicia Keys song. That actually got settled. That lawsuit's over. They settled out of court. but also they said that there was no wrongdoing on Randy Pitchford's part and he was completely cleared. Oh, I fucking hate this part. We want more Tina. I'm gonna watch the credits this time because I guess I missed a really important, very brave and inspiring scene that happens. Now, the credits are breaking, so I guess I don't have to deal with it. Yeah, these credits are breaking. There's no music. Did they lose the rights? Maybe Randy didn't forgot to pay the royalty rights. There's no people, and there's no this girl is on fire. I had a song I'd rather have like fucking play during this whole scene. Alright. No Alicia Keys, I guess. I mean, fucking like, if something just completely inappropriate and mean came on, I would have been 10 times happier with that. Fucking this, or... I don't know, this. These credits are on fire. Like, let her go out like a badass. Not some fucking pop star. Am I watching Oprah Winfrey or am I playing Borderlands? I want to see this. I mean, people fucking cry. Oh, this is heavy. This is heavy, man. I'm hurting. By the way. By the way. You can sub for free with Twitch Prime. And that's all it was. Watch ads for bits. Oh. Oh. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Click the donation link below. Oh. The Cage the Elephant as the second song was more fitting than the first. Oh, dude, totally. Like, that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect. Something, you know, like, yeah, you're a freaking bounty hunter. You're an amoral bounty hunter in a really violent world. It's a reverent story. You know. Yeah. Yeah. This. They just made some weird decisions. It's a AAA, I guess, meant you do a lot of Hollywood crossover. Console didn't even get photo mode. This arc. Respect to Borderlands want to play this. Call back to the origins is dope. Yeah, this would have been better. Anything besides this girl is on fire. But like, she's still alive. Maybe she's still alive. I don't fucking care. She's dead. She went into a moon and blew up, because that makes sense. And okay. Look at us, Karen. We're Karen. There they are. We watched the credits this time. We got to see the scene. They get married. Oh, man. All right. So officially the